Hi, so I wanted to record the second part of the cardstock tutorial. Sorry it's taken so long. I have been just crazy busy with into school. So I am going to be doing loaded tees, and I am going to make a handful of them. So normally I do 6 to a page, but since I'm doing these 2.5 inches, I'm going to do a few more just so I don't waste paper. So this is for that loaded tea shop that is in town that I did my other tutorial on with, sorry, losing my train of thought, with the loaded teas. So this one is another order for them, and they loved the cardstock freshies last time, so they asked for some more of those. So I'm going to do probably 12 of those this time. So here it is. So I have about 9 to a page. They are 2.5 inches. So I am going to print those. And I'm actually going to make 2 full sets of these. So I'm just going to open a new one, paste those in, put my registration marks, leave my inset. Okay, so and Control-C copies, Control-V pastes. So that time I did all 3 of them. All right, so I'm gonna do 27 of them, I guess. Nope, sorry, I can't count. 18 of them. All right, so I have 2 sets printing. My sticky mat, I'm going to just line it up. Make sure it lines up on the edges, push it down. All right, I'm going to load this into my silhouette. And again, I don't have a Cricut, I have a silhouette. So it is loaded in, it is good to go. Make sure I'm on the right one, which was this one. I am going to send it. Well, when you notice, everything that is in red is what it will cut. And I don't know how well you can see in the video, but there it is. So that's with just the outside. So how I did that was over here, I welded it. So if you have it that way, it's gonna cut out each individual piece, and you don't want that. So you want to have it cut just the outside edges. So then I have it set to cardstock. It automatically figures out the force, the speed, all that. So I just hit send. And then here I am going to hit unload when it is done. And pull it up. And there are my cardstock. So I'm going to do this a second time with the other sheet. And this one's the same thing, more cardstock. I'm going to load it. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, except you don't want to send that same exact design because it was different. So I'm going to go to the one that it was, and I'm going to hit send. And then I'm going to hit line, and I'm going to weld it so it's just the outside edge, and then I hit send. And it spits it out. So this time I ended up doing 3 of each label, which I will only take 2 of each one to the shop for this order, so the others I'll just save for if they sell or if I do more. Okay, so now I have my cardstock. I have 3 of each one. I am going to take, I have a hole punch, and I'm going to poke holes, punch holes, however you want to say it, into them for my pin to go in when I bake them, so that way you can't drill into this after, and I don't really like using the eye hooks if I don't have to. So it's Florida and it's hot and it's summer, so I like to have the holes because the eye hooks tend to fall out during summertime. So I just put a hole in it. Perfect. That will fit perfectly for my roll pins, and they will bake and then they come out and I don't have to do anything else to them. Hey, so I wanted to do the part where I'm actually baking the freshie with the cardstock. So the cardstock that I am doing for this part, it is a picture of my friend. This is the one, if you're in my Facebook group, the one that was just found. She died. So I'm actually gonna leave to go to her funeral this weekend. So I wanted to make some freshies to go with me for like a memorial for her. So what I have is I have the silicone circles. This was a 12, it had 12 of them, and I cut them just for stability reasons because one, when I tried to lift it, it would like cave in the middle, and I don't always bake 12 at a time, so I just cut them into singles so I can bake them singly. So I have her picture. I did put the hole in it. I showed that when I did the first part. So all I'm going to do is stick it in. Now these hold exactly 2 ounces, so that is perfect. So I have the hole, and the hole fits perfectly with the roll pins that I use, so I'm able to just stand that up in it, and then I do not have to worry about trying to drill a hole with the paper, and I'm not doing the eye hooks on this one. So I had already measured, but I took my measuring cup and measured, and the first one, they're all 2 ounces, I'm sorry. So they hold 2 ounces perfectly. So these are going to be purple because in the picture she's actually wearing a purple shirt, and it just goes good together. This is going to be the first one, and I'm making 8 of them. I already have 2 made, so I'm taking 10 with me for the funeral, so that's what these are for. So the only thing I do, I'm going to measure out another 2 ounces. The scent is Bite Me, and I chose Bite Me for hers because that was her favorite scent. And it's pretty simple when they are all purple. Roll pin as I pour, just to make sure it stays in place. The other nice thing about cutting this apart is if I do mess up, I don't have to, I can dump just one out instead of having to try and figure out how to dump the entire tray out. I get asked this question a lot. On the micas, I just do 1 scoop. This is a 0.15 cc scoop, and I just do a generous scoop. I don't top it off or anything. It's just a generous scoop. Okay, so I have all 6 done. That's about how many I can fit on the tray. And I will bake this for about 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes, and they will be perfect. So I do have 2 more of those that I need to make. So there's 12 of them altogether on that. So I'm just going to use another tray and make some more. I can go ahead. I went inside. You didn't see it. I paused the video. And I went inside and printed some of my other cardstock. So these are some of the new images I have. So I have that one. And that one. So these are going to be the ones I am doing. And once again, this is still for that Loaded Tea shop. They don't do any other shapes besides, they're called Thankful Hearts, so they do hearts, and then loaded teas. So I will make the loaded tea. I'll make a handful of actual loaded teas, and then she had asked for more cardstock this time because last time the cardstock sold out like instantly. So I'm going to take 12 cardstock. I will probably take, that leaves me 8 left, 4 teas and 4 hearts. But the majority of it is going to be cardstock. So this first one is Orange Blossom. I forgot what. I do that one pink. I try to match the color to the actual cardstock that I'm using. It does not always happen, but I try to. Oh, one thing I did not say. I try not to, on my wholesale orders, I try not to repeat scents. Unless they have one, they're like, hey, we loved such and such, make a bunch of them. Outside of that, I try really hard not to do a repeat. So that way, there are certain scents that I have that the names just don't sound appealing, but they smell amazing. So I have not gone through and renamed any of them. I name them what the oils are, just because that's easier for me. So a lot of times, like I have one called Tonka and Ode. You would not know that it smells amazing, but I took some into the pawn shop that I sell in down here, and they fell in love with it. So they're like, next time, bring us a bunch of that. And I was like, okay. So that is one nice thing about not letting people specify. If there is a scent that I absolutely just cannot stand, I think it stinks, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to get rid of it and just throw the oils away. Because most of my scents I love. Now I have my favorites, but I don't have any that just absolutely stink. So I like to, on my wholesale orders, I really try to put scents that aren't the normal. Yes, I have the normal Black Eyes, Bite Me, Butt Naked, all the normal ones. But I also like to put in ones like Tonka and Ode that you would not know how good it smells because you can't get past the name. So I encourage you to do that too. Branch out and try some of these scents that you don't know, they don't sound appealing. They very well might be. Out of the oven. I already took 2 out before I wanted to show you. So they're still warm, but they're not hot. I can touch them. I just pop the roll pin out first. And then these, I love these because I don't have to worry about them getting misshapen. I separate them from the side and then, well, of course, now that I'm trying to do it on video, and then they pop right out. So this is them. They look good. You want them to have a bead textured look. You don't want them to be totally baked through, otherwise they're not, or totally loose. Let me try that again. You do not want them to be loose. but you also don't want them to be totally smooth. They should still look like beads. So that is 3 of them. Okay, one other thing I see a lot, do you trim, do you not trim? I do not trim. I like the way it looks better untrimmed. Each one looks a little different. It has some dimension to it. I don't like them trimmed at all. So I do not trim unless it's some like crazy long piece that was weird. Other than that, I do not trim them. Some people do. They use like hot knives and stuff like that, and I just don't. That's one more step that I have to do. And honestly, I just don't have time. So I like the way they look without. My customers have never complained. So I'm not going to change it unless I have to for some reason. Okay, so that was 6 of them. Super easy. And the others are out of the oven and they are cooling.